Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be providing a long-term market analysis for Filecoin. I'm going to talk about the weekly chart and some levels such as the 20 and 21 weekly averages. I'll cover the RSI as well as some support and resistance levels, and I'll talk about the FILBTC Ratio. So if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, feel free to check out my Twitter page. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. I'm fairly active over there as well. So first, I do want to start off by talking about these two weekly moving averages. And as we've discussed throughout the last Filecoin videos, these have been a very key resistance throughout this bear market. You can see right here in September of 2021, Filecoin first initially lost these as our support, and we actually flipped them right into resistance. You can see on these weekly candles, we came up to this level, couldn't break back above it. In fact, we rejected, rolled over, and started to form lower lows. And then we had another rejection right here in April, came back up right into these moving averages, rejected. And then a very similar pattern right here in August on that lower high that we had back here around $10. So as you can see, we have started to come back up and retest these moving averages for the fourth time since this bear market started. So going into the end of the year, it's going to be very important to watch for how Filecoin reacts to retesting these moving averages. Now, the reaction could either be a rejection, similar to the last three previous attempts, and that would entail lower lows and a break of support, which I would watch out for this level right around $5. You can see that has been the support for the last few months. This is the capitulation that we had back here in June. Ever since then, we've really just held this zone. So if we do have a rejection similar to the last three previous retests, that would mean that we're most likely going to come back down, retest this support, and then from there, if we can't hold that, I'm going to look out to this next level right around $2.60 as our longer term base from the previous cycle. Now, that would be the bear scenario. Again, that certainly doesn't have to happen, and I would say there is a likelihood that the more attempts you actually have of these moving averages, the higher the chance that they're going to be eventually broken. So if we were to have a break of these moving averages and we start to come back above them, breaking above that resistance, then this would be the bullish scenario in which we would have a move not only breaking above the resistance throughout this bear market at these moving averages, but also getting out of this longer term range, with the resistance, the range highs being around $7.80. Now, going all the way back here to the previous cycle, notice how this was a very key level for Filecoin. We first had this initial bounce right here in March of 2018, established it as support, and then eventually right here in June, we came back up and then flipped this into resistance on this rejection. And then that was followed with a move coming back down to the support at the range lows. And then we had another rejection right here in June of 2019. Similar move, how we rejected, went back down to the lows, the support around $2.50. And then you can see when Filecoin first broke back above these after that year and a half of consolidation, that really kicked off the bull market and led Filecoin to this new all-time high. So you can see we are below that level as of right now. And again, this is going to be a very strong resistance level in confluence with these two moving averages. So if Filecoin is able to break back above both of these levels and then flip them into support, such as I have drawn here, this would really support the bullish argument, and this is going to be something that I would look to as evidence for really starting to slow down the momentum of this bear market trend and give us a little bit more of a different pattern where instead of just rejecting and forming these lower highs, we've got support starting to hold and we're starting to break above some of those levels. So I also want to talk about the RSI and the fact that, this is also showing a pretty interesting pattern where there is the potential for Filecoin to start breaking back above some of these previous lower highs on the RSI. And if I just zoom in here all the way, you can see that we had this lower high back here in July on the RSI coming in around 39. And we're currently coming up to that level again. So in the next few weeks, if we do continue to move up on the RSI, that would entail a higher high, which we really haven't gotten since we peaked back here over a year and a half ago in March of 2021. So again, coming up to that level right here above 39, which was the July high, would make that higher high. And then from there, we could also look to this high that we made back here in March, coming in around 41 on the RSI. And if I go back here, you can see both of these lower highs corresponded to these rejections off these moving averages. So breaking above both of those levels on the RSI would be a very significant move. And it's definitely something I'm going to be watching out for into the next few months towards the end of the year. So lastly, I do want to talk about the FILBTC Ratio. I talked about this in the last video, and it's basically much of the same, where we're still below this level around 40,000 Satoshis, which was the previous all-time low of the last cycle. You can see that was the support that held throughout 2019. Several attempts coming down here on the weekly candles, unable to lose it. Bulls held this area as support, and then eventually we started to bounce off that level, forming this longer term double bottom, coming back up to this level around 300,000 Satoshis. Again, we have fallen back below that. We had this retest of resistance back here on this lower high in August. So at this point, it's really just a matter of breaking back above this level as resistance as of right now, considering this rejection that we had in August. So if Filecoin continues to hold below this, I'm really going to just expect much of the same with underperformance or break-even performance with respect to Bitcoin, which is not something I particularly want to see in my altcoins because I do recognize they tend to take on higher risks than Bitcoin. So I'm looking for that outperformance, and I'm going to be watching to see if Filecoin can start breaking back above this long-term zone around 40,000 Satoshis, which was the previous cycle's low back in the last cycle, and it's currently resistance with this rejection here in August. So I hope you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis. By the way, make sure to check out our sponsors in the link in the description below. This channel is partnered with the cryptocurrency exchange FTX.US. You can sign up to their exchange with the link in the description below, or with my referral code SNOWYCRYPTO and get a 5% discount on exchange fees. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.